and welcome to another TreadNet video process learning, where we go through some of the processes and tasks that can be performed within TreadNet. Today, we're going to be looking at statements. Now, before we move on and go over the process within TreadNet, we kind of wanted to show the transitional part by going into EntireNet and kind of showing how the process was done in that system. So we're going to go ahead and bring up EntireNet. As you see here, we have our icons at the top here that have all your different options. And then you have statements. You just simply click on statements. Choose your statement that we would like to perform or like to be able to download or see. Then once you choose that, then you have the option to view or download. That essentially is the process to look at statements within EntireNet. So now let's go ahead and move over into TreadNet. So once you've logged into TreadNet, you're at your main dashboard here. You have all your menu icons on the left here. If you scroll down, you're going to see a new one called AR Statements. Clicking on that, it's going to populate the statement system that we can see here. We'll show up here just now. This will bring us to our main statement and invoices dashboard. You probably saw this in the invoices video as well. It's the same essential dashboard, but there's different things we want to go over in regarding to viewing statements. On your main dashboard, you have a series of different shortcuts. We're going to go over some of these here in just a minute here, but these are quick shortcuts that you can go through and kind of do a few different admin stuff, which we're going to go ahead and get into now. If you wanted to manage your payment methods, you can go ahead and click on that, but we're going to go ahead and access it from your administration button over here. Go ahead and clicking on administration will bring up a series of different administration aspects. So here you're able to manage your bank accounts, credit cards, and debit cards. As you can see, your bank accounts, you'll see the one populating up here. You can add or delete as you see fit. You can do the same thing in the credit card aspect, and you can also do the same thing in the debit card. So these are essentially payment methods that you can process and place through the account. Now, in addition to the payment methods, you also have your users. Clicking on users will populate a series of all the users for that particular ship to in that particular account. You can go ahead and view on and click on them. But again, we want to move on and go ahead and go through the contacts, which will show contacts here populating. You can also add a contact if you want to, or even activate or deactivate one. In the preferences, we're going to see different aspects in regarding to correspondences and anything along that line. You can go ahead and, to click on this or change any kind of correspondence to it. This will show any kind of correspondence as well as if it's enabled, disabled, the monthly, frequency that is sent out or even the preferred mode. So that kind of concludes the administration aspect of the statements aspect. But let's go ahead and go back. We're going to go ahead and go back to home. And we're going to go ahead and click on download statement. So this will be the one quick one. We just go into download statement. This will populate a screen for it where you have two options. You have either do it as a PDF or you can do it as Excel. We're just going to go ahead and do it as a PDF. And then here you have a series of different options here. You have a few different more as you saw prior in EntireNet. You would essentially go through it. Now, if you just want to do your current statement, clicking on current statement will populate that. Then you can hit submit and it'll download. But if you're looking to do a past one, you can go ahead and go by year and go ahead and go by month. And then you can go actually by payer number. So this will, if you have more than one payer number, it'll show up on there. Clicking on that and then hitting submit will actually go ahead and submit that statement and it'll download it directly for you. Go ahead and cancel out of that here as well. Now, before we move into some of the different options here for you, we do have certain things along the lines and regarding to like your aging buckets as well as your payables. You can use this drop down to kind of change to see the different overdue dates for that. If you like to make it a payment, you do have three options here on there. You have your credit card, your bank account, and your debit card. So all those managed payment accounts that we talked about here in the administration part, we'll actually go ahead and process that immediately for that particular due. Now, in addition, we also have a setup an auto payment. So clicking on auto payment will populate as that populates here, we have our customer. If you have more than one customer account, you go ahead and add on to that. But if you have more than one payer that you want to put on there, you can actually apply to all payers, which will then populate the process here for it. Now, once you go through here, you're going to go ahead and either enable or disable. If we go ahead and enable, this will allow us to change the necessary frequency, start date, pay limit, amount, and payment type, which will use your ACH credit card or debit card that's stored on the account. And then you have your bank account card number on there as well. Once you get all that information in there, we're not going to go ahead and submit it on this one, but this is just an example. You would hit submit. So now we're going to go back. I'm going to go back to open bills, and those will show some of all the invoices and another way that you can actually download your statements. So if you go ahead and go to open bills, you'll see all the invoices will populate here for you. And then we're going to mainly concentrate on the statements aspect here. So similar to the process we did with the download statement on the front screen, it can also be done in the open bills section. So you go on here, and then you have your download or email statement, which will then populate that same exact process where you either choose the PDF or the Excel, and then go through the necessary drop downs to be able to change that as well. So that's just another option. Okay, on top of that, we have administration, which we already went over, but then we also have payment history. So any kind of payment history that was made on the account will show and populate here with all the necessary columns and needed there for you. Also, a payment on account is also available. Now, this is just to make a payment itself, just like you did. You were talking about in the main dashboard where it had the actual aging buckets. This is actually one where you can actually do automatically. So essentially, every single one you go to drop down, do the payment type, and then you hit these 3 dots where you can actually go ahead and search for all your customer numbers, make the selection, and then choose that one, which will then populate in the customer account. Then you put the amount, currency, and any kind of purchase order number, sales order number, any kind of comments. Once all that information is put through, you submit that, and that'll proceed with the payment. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go back to our main home screen. Again, just want to kind of recap here for you. This is the ability to go ahead and do a quick download of the statements. Here you can access your administration where you can go ahead and manage your payment methods. Here's your setup any auto payment, and here's also the pay on account, which again we did from here as well. So this concludes the statement aspect and statement version of TreadNet. We hope this transition is nice and smooth, and this system allows you a little bit more options in the previous system, and hopefully the transition will go well. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.